Day YouTube. Today's topic is something that I like to think about during the week, and I write notes on what I want to talk about next. This is something that I consider to be very practical for me. It's worked. Hopefully it's practical for you. It's titled, What Works for Me May Work for You. And I've done a lot of things in my life. Some are great, some are good, some are bad, and some are horrible or mistakes. With growing and age, hopefully comes wisdom, and that's something that I truly believe in. I prefer the smooth process, and that could be planning something out, making it happen, executing it, and succeeding. The opposite would be not having a plan, going with it, and then being challenged or failing at something. I don't think that making plans is boring at all. In fact, I think it's the opposite. It's exciting because it saves you time, it saves you stress, it saves me stress, and then you succeed at whatever it is that you're doing. Now, don't think that I don't live a stress-free life, because everybody has stress. That is something you can count on. My comfort is in preparing and knowing what's coming. For example, tomorrow we have TAP, Transition Assistance Program at work. Day one, it's 5 full days of people that are separating or retiring from the military. I had them at day one, so I've already prepared. In fact, I have to go to work today and set up my class because I couldn't do it on Friday. My comfort is in preparation ahead of time. I'm the type of individual that's punctual, or I'm going to be there early. It's just the way it works for me, and I really enjoy it. A small example is the night before I'm going to work, I'm going to load up my car with my gym bag so I have less to carry in the morning, because I already have my lunch, I have my coffee, and I don't want to take a gym bag. I'll throw it in the car. That is a small example. A big example is every 6 months we have to pay our daughter's tuition. It's about $7,000, just a little bit less. And I already have February 2019's money set up right there. Now I can start building August of 2019, my daughter's last semester in college, and she's also going to go to school in the summer to graduate early, which means I have to start planning for that. That's a big example of preparation, and it's something that I welcome, and I really like to do it. My daughter's going to graduate December 2019, if she does everything that she's supposed to, 100% debt-free. I also believe in learning from mistakes. I've said that several times on this channel. I think it's a good thing. Whether it's our mistakes or his mistake or her mistake, I pay attention. That works for me. And I see what people do to succeed in their marriage, to succeed in their goals, with their finances. To me, again, that's not boring, because I have less time to stress out about things like that and more time to enjoy a vacation. We're going to New Mexico, Hot Springs, in November. I was hoping it would be sooner, but it has to be mid-November. We've been there before. It's great. It's 2.5 days, my wife and I, about 4 hours from here, and just hang out in the hot springs and relax. And in February of 2019, we're going to Palm Springs. That is an example of more time to plan for these good things, pay it up front, and really enjoy. Again, paying attention is something that I like to do, and I make the adjustments as needed. You've probably heard the saying, as you grow older, you should get wiser, or with age comes wisdom. Is that the case for you? Whether you're 18 or 20 or 30 or 60, hopefully the answer is yes. And I can tell you I wasn't always on that kick of doing things and planning and succeeding, because I was going with the flow, especially in my younger years. What works for me is knowing when I want to participate doing something, and when I'm going to say, nope, I'm not in for this one, because you can't do it all. Sometimes I feel, once in a while, like I have too much on my plate, whether it's work, whether it's paying for tuition, whether it's answering questions on YouTube, whether it's throwing out the garbage, things like that. It adds up. Have you ever had a moment where you just have too much on your plate? I say, know when you can participate and when you should say, I can't this time. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You can't help everyone, and you can't please everyone. Remember that. I already know that. You can't please everyone. If I make a video about the Air Force or about traveling or about advice, there's going to be at least one bad comment or more. And that's okay. That's part of the territory of being a individual who shares your life or your thoughts on a platform like this where many people can see it. Know your limits. I definitely know my limits. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and that works for me. I highlight my strengths and I work on my weaknesses. Or I can say, I can't do this, but I know I can hire someone to do that. When I was 21, like I said a moment ago, I didn't think the way I think now. I was going through the motions, and that's when I made a lot of mistakes. So it's one of those things that definitely pay attention to what others are doing. Two types of personalities among many personalities is you have the free spirit and you have the nerd. I'm a combination of both. I am a nerd, but I'm also a free spirit. When I go on vacation, I don't want to learn how to take a bus to get me from point A to point B. I'd rather say, let's get a taxi, you pay the taxi, and you move forward. We were in St. Martin, 2017, and we took a taxi into this little town, French town. It was great. We had lunch, we walked around, we had a drink, and I was like, where do you catch a taxi? And the lady said, the taxi comes here every so often, or you can call them. We didn't have a phone that worked out there. Or she said, you can take the bus for $1. And I was like, the bus? I don't want to take the bus. I want to pay a taxi. Well, we ended up taking the bus, and it was a good experience. Have you ever noticed someone that has a dark cloud? The complete opposite of this. The sun is right there. A dark cloud over them, or it seems like they have a dark cloud over them constantly. I know I've met one individual that I can think of that I gave her feedback, and I said, it seems like you always have a dark cloud over you. And it could be your car's acting up, your marriage, your job, you're late, your baby, your whatever. We're going to have challenges, but don't be that individual that constantly has a dark cloud over your head, because it's not a good way to live. Life is sweet. I've never said that life is easy, but life is sweet. If you give me lemons, I'm going to figure out a way to make lemonade. You've probably heard that. Another thing that I've learned that works for me, that may work for you, is we live the way that we want to. Think about that for a moment. That could be good, great, bad, horrific, or anything in between, because it boils down to the decisions that we make. But the beauty of life is that if we make a mistake, and we all make mistakes, is you can make some changes and get to wherever it is that you want to, or accomplish whatever it is that you want to. So it's very important that you remember that. We live the way that we want to, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, horrific. Another thing that works for me, and this is something that I do appreciate, this is just who I am, is gratitude. I am thankful for this, for that, for my job, for my beautiful family that we're close, my friends, you. I'm thankful for a lot of things, and that's just who I am. I took a survey, and it came back with results ranked 1 through 20 based on the way I answered the questions, and gratitude came up as number 1. The last thing that I'll leave you with in this video is free isn't always good for me. Free isn't always good for you. Just because it's free doesn't mean that it's always a good thing. And remember that. An example is, there's things that I like and things that I don't like. And I know all of that in here. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. And I don't want to go to a restaurant because they're giving a free military meal. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that this is me. Because it's going to be crowded. The line will be from here to all the way over there just to get a free meal, an $8 meal or $9 meal. For me, I'll pass. I'll go the opposite way. Again, I'll leave you with this, is know yourself, know what works for you, know what doesn't work for you, because in the end, it's your life. We live the way that we want to. I've shared what works for me, and I do believe that some of it, if not all of it, can work for you. Take care.